in Alfred Hospital in the intensive care, but simply as a precaution at the moment. And Chris, they're about to move in for the first here.
Okay, thanks Andrew. So let's head to Greg for race 1 on the card.
Just about set. Black Anthem comes in. Righto, Chris, thank you to you too, and we're all on board now. Good luck punters, good luck diggers, have a great afternoon. And the ANZAC colours worn in every race. ANZAC colours in this particular race being worn by Blue Star, who completes the line on the outside, and they're off on the first on Anzac Day with Blue Star jumping quite well near the outside. The favourite Liquid Lunch began well. So did Mr Selby in the light blue colours down near the inside. And over the first they jumped 13 hurdles on their journey. Alitaya's not far away from the speed. Fidel dropped out to be last of all. Here's the second jump coming up. Mr Selby over it in front. Liquid Lunch second. Black Anthem is moving up on the outside now and goes into second placing with Liquid Lunch dropping in for a trail. Then Alataya fourth on the outside, followed by Pyramid Park, and then Blue Star, Audrey's Night, Superior Man, and Fidela dropped out to be last of all. They come along at a slow pace down towards the next, and on the inside it's Mr Selby. On his outside is Black Anthem, and they lead by 2 lengths. Liquid Lunch in third placing. Alataya about 3 lengths further back in fourth spot. Then came Blue Star, Pyramid Park on the inside with Audrey's Night, Superior Man, and Fidel is last of all. At this very slow pace, they come down towards the 5th jump in the race now. Mr Selby and Black Anthem are together. The saddle looks to have moved on Fidel, and the rider's in awful trouble out there, Jonathan Bowles, and the saddle has slipped forward, and he's having to let this horse stride around the field now. They were being followed in behind them by Liquid Lunch and Alataya, then Pyramid Park on the inside, followed by Blue Star, Audrey's Night, and Superior Man is last of all. As they go to the riverside, Mr Selby leading from Black Anthem. Fidel is still up there. Bowles is riding very bravely, coming towards the next jump. Thought he might have considered pulling the horse out of it, but with the saddle moved, he stays in the field and up in third place. In behind these horses then is Liquid Lunch in fourth spot, and then came Alataya outside Pyramid Park. 2 lengths to Blue Star, 1 to Audrey's Night, who made a mess of that last hurdle. He's back second last, and Superior Man is last. At the next, they leap that one at the 1,700 metres now, and Mr Selby leading narrowly, about a half length in front. Black Anthem is second the outside, and Fidela's trapped out 3 wide. Liquid Lunch enjoying a nice trail off that trio. The favourites in fourth spot, spotting the leader 5 lengths. 2.5 further back is Pyramid Park inside Alataya, and then Superior Man starting a run from Blue Star and Audrey's Night. Here's the next coming up now, and here it's Fidel going up 3 deep on the outside of Black Anthem, the centre, Mr Selby on the inside, and at the 1,200 metres the trio is still about 3 lengths in front from Liquid Lunch as they leap this one. Pyramid Park 5 lengths away, made a blue, and going past him is Superior Man. Then came Alataya, who looked to be battling on the ground. Blue Star's gone past him, and Audrey's Night still last of all. They're inside the 1,000 metres now and coming along towards the 3rd last hurdle. Mr Selby the inside and Black Anthem over it in front. Oh, Liquid Lunch fell. Liquid Lunch took a fall in 3rd spot. He's quickly to his feet. The horse is okay. I think the rider is too. We'll report later, but the favourite's down. They're up towards the turn now, and here Black Anthem the outside and Mr Selby. The Anzac colours loom large on Blue Star. He's gone into 3rd around Fidel, and then Superior Man, who's made up ground. He's coming home well. Good finish coming up here, and then Pyramid Park, and there's a long break then to Audrey's Night, and it looks like Alataya is going to be retired from the race. Into the straight now. Black Anthem the middle. Blue Star on the outside coming with a big run, and Mr Selby on the inside. They're the 3 leaders from Superior Man, and Fidel dropping out. Here's the last hurdle coming up now, and Mr Selby shot 2 lengths in front from Blue Star. Black Anthem can't go on. Mr Selby with 100 metres to go, out by 1.5 lengths. Blue Star's trying hard. Mr Selby pulls out enough though, and Mr Selby wins the hurdle. Mr Selby first, beating Blue Star by 1 length. 4 lengths away Superior Man. Black Anthem 4th, then Pyramid Park. Next Fidel. Well, Jonathan Bowles has done a terrific job just to go around in the race, and then there's a long break in the field to Audrey's Night last to complete the line. The riderless Liquid Lunch cantered by. Alataya was pulled up at the home turn, and the rider is quite okay. Liquid Lunch's rider, Bill Williams, is walking away to the ambulance. He's all right after that fall. The winner is number 3, Mr Selby, ridden by Brad McLean, who took the claim.
Now just waiting for the light, they stand up quietly. The field of 14 at the 1,200. Ready to
Brady Cross on Beautiful Gem. He is sporting the ANZAC colours, the khaki and the bronze ANZAC insignia. And here's Beautiful Gem coming up in these colours now. The ANZAC colours with Brady Cross on the favourite, Beautiful Gem. She goes up into her place in the gates. Brady'd be keen to ride a winner. He's had a little bit of an out. It's been over 40 rides without a winner, and in fact the 26th of March, when he outrode his 3 kilo claim, was his last city success. These young fellas can rack up a series of outs very quickly indeed, but it'd do his confidence a world of good if he could boot this one home. It's the only straight race of the day. Beautiful Gem favourite. Second pick is Northern Rose. Third favourite is Dan's Princess, who ran a place behind yesterday's impressive winner. Just about right to go. That was Jester's Red, Grant Dalziel's horse. Now Danish Peak will come up and complete the lineup. Outside, 7 runners here. Danish Princess moved in. Set to go. Gate 4 houses the favourite. They're off. And Beautiful Gem jumping well. In the early stages, they're going to split, yep, and the small field is divided with coming this side Danish Peak, and going out there with her is Northern Rose, and over on the inside as they head to the 1,000 metres, Princess Nova has the lead from its stablemate Our Kavira. They're about a length and a half to Dan's Princess, and over on the inside is Yuma Force with Beautiful Gem, last of the division down on the inside. They've passed the 800 metres. The lights are indicating that the flat side has the lead. On this side, Northern Rose is out clearly ahead of Danish Peak. They're coming towards the 600 metre mark, and the leader is Princess Nova, out by 2 lengths to Our Kavira. Dan's Princess on the outside, and Beautiful Gem is now easing out to start her run. And over on the inside of those is Yuma Force, and on this side Northern Rose hasn't any company because she's beat off Danish Peak by about 6 lengths. They come towards the 300 metre mark, and here Our Kavira is in front. She's by about a length and a half with Beautiful Gem coming after her, and they'll fight the race out. 150 to go. Northern Rose not in it this side. Our Kavira is in front of Beautiful Gem, who's trying hard, but Our Kavira keeps producing enough, and Our Kavira gets the money by a half a length to Beautiful Gem. 4 lengths away third is Yuma Force, then a break to Dan's Princess, trailed in by Princess Nova, and Northern Rose was next in the field, coming on this side, well clear of Danish Peak last in. Our Kavira has taken out the race. First start for Peter Moody, a former New Zealander, who has had the one run on rain-affected ground at her debut back in June of last year, where she won her maiden. First start in the race since October. Went round in some black type races before going out for a spell, but she's been produced first up by Peter Moody, ridden by Blake Shin to win the race. Second placing to the favourite Beautiful Gem, Brady Cross, and third going to number 8 Yuma Force, Nicholas Ryan. The 3 big guns of the apprentice ranks have filled the trifecta. Fourth home, number 2 Dan's Princess, and 5th in was 6 Princess Nova. 7, 1, 8, then 2 and 6.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, she held the favourite there just when she made a run, Beautiful Gem. She looked as though she was going to race up to Our Kavira, but she fought on gamely. She did run about a bit in the straight, but really didn't interfere with Beautiful Gem. And Blake Shin and Brady Cross, the 2 boom apprentices, fighting out the race. Yuma Force getting third. $319 trifecta, a first 4 to come with number 2, Dan's Princess.
The 13 Lady of the Desert. This is the one that has had good support.
Yeah, it's a nice horse. Its first up and only performance was very good behind.
Is, if I can only find it, Rockford Bay, who went all right the other day. But first of all, just on calorific, it wasn't too bad.
Second pick is Anchorette as they get ready here. Nasty Jester comes up into the gates, and Poseidon Secret is linking in also, so we just need, let's see, 5 to come up into the gates then. Here's Above Deck moving in. Nash Rubber. Saturn Spin coming up. Nigel Thunderwing moved into the gates. It's near the outside, so 2 to get set. We wait on Rockford Bay, who'll take the outside barrier, and the favourite, Lady of the Desert, who has a middle stall. She was unlucky at Caulfield, entered debut, got tightened up late in the piece. Couldn't produce what she had to give there, but she's been quite well supported today. She's holding up well on the tote at $4.60. Tote favourite just Anchorette, but it's a different situation on track with Lady of the Desert favourite ahead of Anchorette. And Above Deck has had some support coming back to the Melbourne way. Now Rockford Bay with the blinkers on first time moved up into the stalls and they're set at the 1400. Field is ready. Confectioner beat Ambulance in this last year. They're off and racing, and Above Deck one of the first to bounce out, but Steady's back, and Anchorette goes to the lead in the early stages ahead of Calorific, and Lady of the Desert began fast, sits up in second placing now. Kaliningrad goes up into third, Chinotto's fourth, and then Calorific who's eased back fifth the outside, followed by Nigel Thunderwing, one Above Deck, Poseidon Secret trapped wide, and then Stella Grande. A length and a half to Satin Spin being followed by Rockford Bay. Satin Spin getting the head up, not settling well. And towards the end of the field is Nasty Jester on the inside of Tour of Duty. Anchorette the leader at the 800 metres, left alone, a length and a half clear from Kaliningrad. Lady of the Desert tucked in third on the inside, followed by Nigel Thunderwing on its outside, and about a length further back is Calorific. Then came Poseidon Secret, followed by Chinotto in the yellow colours on the inside, one Above Deck. As they swing around the turn, next is Rockford Bay. Stella Grande a long way back on the inside from Tour of Duty, Nasty Jester and Satin Spin. Anchorette first for home from Kaliningrad on the outside, and they kick about 2 or 3 lengths to Lady of the Desert, who's starting to work home. And then there's a break to coming down the outside, Rockford Bay, and also Poseidon Secret. Anchorette had it narrowly from Kaliningrad and Lady of the Desert, who's winding up strongly now. The Lady took the lead. She drew a half length in front of Kaliningrad, Anchorette, and then Poseidon Secret. But Lady of the Desert starting to draw away, and the favourite wins it. Lady of the Desert won it well from Kaliningrad. Poseidon Secret third, then the weakening Anchorette, Rockford Bay. Above Deck, Tour of Duty made a little ground wide out, and then Satin Spin, who also ran on. Next is Nasty Jester, being followed further back in the field by Calorific, Stella Grande, and then Nigel Thunderwing and Chinotto last end. Favourite Too Good, 13, Lady of the Desert, ridden by Stephen Baster, trained on the track by Matthew Ellerton, taking the race out after a nice trail into the event. She finished over the top of them and drew away and won it impressively. Second home, number 5. Kaliningrad, Dale Smith and Leon Corstens, and third, number 8, Poseidon Secret. Reese McLeod and Andrew Noblet making some nice ground. 13, 5 and 8. Fourth in went to number 1, Anchorette. Number 1 ran fourth. Lady of the Desert, Kaliningrad and Poseidon Secret placings in race number 3. Might be a form race, as I mentioned just before they jumped. Confectioner last year beat Ambulance, and certainly they've both gone on and won multiple races, haven't they? And it just might be a winning producer race, this, because Lady of the Desert has been very impressive in her victory here. She's a daughter of Desert Prince and Lady Solville, who's by Grosvenor, so no problem with the rain-affected ground. Well supported. She ran third at Caulfield on debut just over 2 weeks ago, and as I mentioned, she got pretty badly hampered in the straight. Has only beaten a length.
Horse has drawn well, always drawn near the out.
Are a double figure odds, so that's the run through. The favourite, Infinite Grace, but it has been easy. There were a couple of double bookings for jockeys in race 7.
Wild Rapid Or, and also Scarlet Ruby, Or going in now, so they're nearly ready. Previous race won in good style by Lady of the Desert. The second was won by Our Kavira, and the first, the hurdle, by Mr. Selby. He's heading to Warrnambool for the Galleywood. Our Kavira is going over to Adelaide to be part of Peter Moody's team there. Now Wild Rapid completed the lineup, so they're set to run. Lights flash for the 4th, the Kokoda track. They're set. Racing at the 1400, Wild Rapid missed it by a length. Jet Set Lass and Furler also get back soon after the start, and Scarlet Ruby first out ahead of Orr. Love's here. Bellavici pushing through near the inside. Infinite Grace handy to these, and they're trailed by Tarcula Diamond on the inside. About 2 or 3 lengths further back in the field is Celestina, then Jet Set Lass Triangular. Further back to second last and Wild Rapid. Inside the 1,000 metres now, and Love's here strides up on the outside and joins Scarlet Ruby by 2 lengths to Bellavici. Beachy. Getting a good run fourth on the inside, Tarcula Diamond, followed by Orr, who's out wide. Infinite Grace, the centre. A length and a half to Jets at last. Celestina, Triangular, not settling, throwing her head about. And at the end of the field is Furler with Wild Rapid making a run round the outside. Scarlet Ruby led at the 600 by a half length to Loves Here. Bellavici in third. Tarcula Diamond is fourth on the inside on the white and green. Orr and Wild Rapid come with runs around the outside. Infinite Grace pocketed, needing it out. And Celestina back about second or third, last two in trouble. Scarlet Ruby at the 400 by a length to Loves Here, and Bellavici, who's had a cosy run, is producing a good run, and she joins these leaders now. And then came Infinite Grace wanting to lay in, and Furler making ground the inside. Bellavici at the 200, shot about a length and a half to Loves Here. Infinite Grace is now winding up, but Bellavici with a nice lead at the 100. Bellavici in front, Infinite Grace trying hard. Bellavici holding on. Infinite Grace lunged close. Bellavici and Infinite Grace, not much in this, and Celestina's rocketed home and grabbed third, and just behind them a Furler, and then Triangular, who worked home. Well back in the field then was Loves Here, Jets at last, Wild Rapid, Orr, Scarlet Ruby and Tarcula Diamond. Photo finish here. Bellavici was holding on, but Infinite Grace has dived at it to make a photo, but Bellavici will last and get it, number 7 on the inside. Another hop and she was in trouble. Infinite Grace would have pegged her right on the line, but Bellavici has held on to score 10.50 and 2.70. Lovely ride by Luke Curry. Just box-seated that mare, and she sprinted quickly to take the lead at the 200 and then just held on from Infinite Grace. She was a bit unlucky, the second mare. She was in trouble and wanting to lay in until she got really into the clear, and then she hit the line very solidly second. And making significant ground from the back of the field was Celestina. And she also had a bit of a checkered run too. Getting through, she got tightened up and held up there. Looking at the head-on replay, she was very, very unlucky. Fourth home, number 16, Triangular, who didn't want to settle early, but she came home solidly. She's run fourth, and 15 was number 10, Furler. Winning margin was a short half head. A long neck second and third, time was 125.06. And the dividend.
There's those divs with the numbers reshuffled there. And Bellavici, Celestina, Infinite Grace, 295, that trifecta. See if there's a amended first.
And the first three have been locked away. Royal Rapid is set with Denazri and Ruling Interest. This is High Ransom now coming up into the line. Field getting ready. Star Dealer coming up here. One of the two fillies in the field. The last filly to win at Wexford in 97, and before that it was Lady Plutus back in 1983. And the favourite at $3.20 on the tote is the filly Sunar, and she's coming up into the stalls now for Stephen King. He's finished third in this race the last couple of years. Lee Friedman won it back in 1990 with Frontier Boy. Mighty Natural has moved in. Fort Knox in the Anzac colours is locked away. North Face is standing up well. Nash Rawiller on board, won the race last year on Serpentire. Here's Pentiley coming up into the gates now for Danny Nikolic. Previous winner of the race with Teddy Boy in the year 2000. Bart Cummings holds the record equally with Tommy Smith with 6 wins in the race. Bart represented with Denazri down in gate 2. Our Bahari links in, rider with the black cap. We've got a white cap on our spur, a yellow cap on our court for the Racavaldis, our horses. So our court coming up, completed the lineup on the outside. The VRC St Ledger is underway, and in the early stages of the race, our Bahari jumping well with our court near the outside, and Desert Clearance is easing back in the early stages. Sunar is going forward as they settle into stride with Condi's Hope, and also Royal Rapid is up there as they settle down now and come down past the 200 the first time. And Condi's Hope has the lead from Royal Rapid and North Face 3 out. Sunar easing back, gets a nice trail the filly. She's in 4th place. Desert Clearance trap wide, and Nolan's booting forward about 3 and 4 wide, turning out of the straight, doing some work. And they were followed by Our Court Pentiley. About a length and a half further back in the field is Fort Knox, being trailed by Ruling Interest. Another length further back is Our Bahari, wide around Denazri and High Ransom. Then Star Dealer, and they're followed at the end of the field here by Mighty Natural, who's on the inside, and Our Spur. They head out now towards the 1900. Conti's Hope has the lead. Desert Clearance moves up within about a length of the leader now. 2 lengths away is Sunar. She's in 3rd placing. On the outside of her is Royal Rapid, about a length and a half to North Face, and then Pentiley running 6th on the inside. 3 lengths further back is Our Court, 1 to Ruling Interest, a length and a half to Fort Knox, 1 to Nasri. He's followed by Our Bahari, and then Star Dealer, High Ransom, and Our Spur on the outside, and Mighty Natural the last 2. They've passed the 1600 in the St Ledger, and Conti's Hope will try and do it all. Leads by about a length to Desert Clearance. 2 lengths away, Sunar. Royal Rapid is on the outside, and about a length and a half further back is North Face. He's having a good trail. He's in 5th spot outside Pentiley. 2 lengths to Our Court, a length and a half to Ruling Interest, and then came Fort Knox. Another 2 lengths away in the field is Denazri on the inside of Star Dealer going forward, and then came Our Bahari, followed by Our Spur, High Ransom, and Mighty Natural. About 15, perhaps a little more from the leader. It's Conti's Hope out towards 1,000 in the St Ledger, 3/4 clear. Desert Clearance, after doing some early work, lobs along well in 2nd placing. 2.5 lengths away, Sunar, who's been given a dream run by Stephen King. 3rd on the inside of Royal Rapid, 1.5 to North Face, and then Pentiley. Our Quarters next with Star Dealer next on the outside. 2 lengths away in the field came Fort Knox, and he's being followed by Our Bahari. Ruling Interest losing ground rapidly. Then Denazri, the fielders bunching around the home turn, followed by Our Spur, and then High Ransom and Mighty Natural. They come around the turn now, and North Face goes to the lead with Desert Clearance. Conti's Hope was quickly gone. Running on is Our Court down the outside, and Sunar is next under the whip, and down the outside comes Fort Knox. Pentiley is struggling at the 300. Desert Clearance on the inside, and North Face, the 2 leaders from Fort Knox, and then came Sunar. Desert Clearance came to the 200 metre mark. He's in front by a length and a half from North Face and Fort Knox, and then came Sunar. Desert Clearance strong all the way, leads by 2.5. He has the Ledger won, a good staying performance. It's Desert Clearance by 3 lengths to North Face. Fort Knox a half length away 3rd. Sunar 4th, every chance, and then Pentiley. Denazri, Star Dealer, and she was followed a long break then to Our Court, High Ransom, Royal Rapid, then Our Bahari, Ruling Interest, Mighty Natural, Our Spur, and Conti's Hope, the early leader, was last in. Desert Clearance has taken out the VRC St Ledger with a very dour, strong staying performance. Will pay 620 and 220, beating North Face and Fort Knox. Overcame an outside barrier by doing a little bit of work leading at the turnout of the straight, or going up to the lead, and then sitting outside of Conti's Hope for much of the journey. Took the lead at the top of the straight, and that's a fine staying effort to lead all the way down the Flemington straight in a staying test as strong as that was run. Great performance from Desert Clearance, just his 7th race outing, trained by the all-conquering Peter Moody. A winning double for Peter here at Flemington on St Ledger Day 2. Ridden by Luke Nolan, who has been with the Peter Moody stable for quite some time and resurrecting his Metropolitan career. He's been a prolific winner on the country circuit, particularly with Peter Moody's horses.
They'll call for the camera. Okay, we're down here with Peter Moody. Peter, impressive effort, that one.
He's given us every indication he's just wanted to stay, and he's not the quickest thinking horse. Luke's done a tremendous job. That's the reason I've been solid with Luke, teaching him to settle. We came up with a bad barrier, but Luke was confident that he had educated the horse to settle. I've got to give a lot of credit to my work rider, Chris Nelson, has worked tirelessly with the horse in the same phase, and he had to start him up from the bad alley. He got outside the leader and went to sleep, and was too strong. So it's a culmination of a lot of work by a lot of people, and it's paid off on the day.
And it hasn't finished yet, because you've got the plans, obviously, to go to Adelaide for the SA Derby.
Yeah, that's our next step. He's nom for the Derby and the Cup, but he's got gone 2,800 on a wet track today. He'll want to go home and do well, because we won't take him over for the sake of doing it, because it's only his 7th start in a race, and I know the St Ledger's sort of lost the prestige it's held in past years, but he is an improving horse, and I certainly don't want to destroy him for the sake of being greedy. So if he does well, he goes to Adelaide. If he doesn't, he'll go to Paddock for the spring.
Right, go and enjoy it.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. Peter Moody joining us after the win of Desert Clearance, 8, 6 and 2 in the VRC St Ledger.
Yeah, and for your first fours, number 15, Sunnar.
We need 3 to get set. Just 3 to move in. Here's Kayano coming up to the line. Reef Beach and Red Hannigan will then complete the lineup. Rain Gauge is in the Anzac colours down in gate 2. Here's Reef Beach about to come up at $3.70. Is the tote favourite and on course favourite. Red Hannigan will now complete the line. Auckland Racing Club handicap. Field is locked away. 7 running. They're set. Ready to go. Off, Bird Dancer jump well on the inside. Silvana out the back with Rain Gauge soon after the jump. Domini and Kayano roll to the lead. Reef Beach is going forward 2 on the outside. Bird Dancer just off them as they settle down to the 1400. Kayano is the leader. Reef Beach is now second by a length. Bird Dancer on the inside from Red Hannigan improving deep, and Domini is off the pace today, being eased back into 5th, about 3 lengths off the leader at the 1200 metres. Then came Silvana outside Rain Gauge. Kayano in front. There's not a lot of speed by 3/4. Reef Beach is second, 1.5 Red Hannigan. Then on the inside, Bird Dancer in 4th placing, followed by Domini. About 2 lengths further back is Silvana, and Rain Gauge ahead away on the inside. Kayano leads up the side. They're nearing the 800 metres. She's a neck clear from Reef Beach. Red Hannigan third, but travelling wide. And then Domini between runners, and on the inside is Bird Dancer, 1 to Silvana, and last Rain Gauge. Haven't gone quickly to the turn, and Kayano at the 600 leads about a half length from Reef Beach and Red Hannigan. Domini just off them with Bird Dancer the inside needing a run. And then Silvana second last and Rain Gauge. Kayano at the 500 around the turn in front. A neck to Reef Beach. Red Hannigan deep. Bird Dancer trying for a run. Domini's held up. He's searching for somewhere to go to. At the 300, Kayano joined by Reef Beach. Red Hannigan is struggling. Bird Dancer and Domini are still not clear. Silvana comes with a run on the outside now. They pass the 200 and Reef Beach in front from Silvana coming home. Bird Dancer gets a run from Domini. Rain Gauge is coming. Reef Beach in front. Rain Gauge pegs it back, grabs the lead and wins it. Rain Gauge in the Anzac colours has got up to win from Reef Beach. Now either Bird Dancer or Silvana was third, then Domini, Red Hannigan and Kayano led them, but weakened to last. What a funny old race. Rain Gauge, number 2, has come from last to win. Ridden by Vincent Hall. Now in the stable of Tom Hughes Jr., a previous very good stayer. He won a Moonee Valley Cup a couple of years ago, in fact 3 years ago I think, and he has come from last to swallow them up down the outside and win. 2 Rain Gauge first, the resurrection of a racing career. Second, number 8 Reef Beach, ridden by Matt Pumper, and third, number 4 Silvana, ridden by Nash Rawilla. Numbers are 2, 8 and 4. 2, 8 and 4. Fourth home, number 5, Bird Dancer, and fifth, number 3, Domini. Well, it's just a crazy race, wasn't it? I mean, Domini, you'd think, would have run to the front. He was a natural leader. There was no speed in the race, and he sat back 5th. And then he got held up for a run virtually all in the straight. Bird Dancer was also badly held up for runs. And whilst they were all chopping and changing and trying to get runs, Vincent Hall just pulled to the outside on Rain Gauge, and he swallowed them up. It's only his second start in the new stable. He really did promise something with his first run back, but I don't think any of us expected him to fire like that second up. He'd never done so in the past. You'd think he would be waiting to get out over longer trips, but that turns out to be a very, very fine win by this 6-year-old stallion.
Yeah, good to see him racing so well. Thanks, Greg. Rain Gauge. And he gets the prize, Reef Beach Silvana.